Hi friends, welcome back. Today I have some exciting news for all the tech enthusiasts out there. We'll be diving into the financial performance and Q3 earnings of one of the leading players in the semiconductor industry, AMD. And guess what? Today is Halloween. Is AMD having an early Christmas or a Halloween haunt? But before we get started, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest tech and financial news. Just look at that after hours move. Phew! Down 4.5%. Let's see why. Analysts were expecting strong results following Intel's earnings. Let's see if AMD delivers. Revenue expectations were $5.69 billion. EPS expectations were 68 cents. Let's see what Lisa Su has to say about it in the earnings. She says, "We delivered strong revenue and earnings growth driven by demand for our Ryzen 7000 series PC processors and record server processor sales." Lisa Su says, "Our data center business is on a significant growth trajectory based on the strength of our EPYC CPU portfolio and the ramp of the Instinct MI300 accelerator shipments to support multiple deployments with hyperscale, enterprise, and AI customers. We executed well into the third quarter, delivering year-on-year growth in revenue, gross margin, and earnings per share," said Jean Hu. "In the fourth quarter, we expect to see strong growth in the data center and continued momentum in client, partially offset by lower sales in gaming segment and additional softening in demand in the embedded markets." And just so you know, embedded is weak because, that's B2B, and B2B is weak because of the uncertainties in the market, in the economy as a whole. It's just weak right now. In my opinion, I think we're in a recession. I know the government says otherwise, but what's the Fed know? I'm getting excited about the MI300. What about you guys? First up, let's look at their revenue growth. In Q3 2023, AMD reported a total revenue of $5.8 billion, representing an increase of 4% compared to the same quarter last year. This is fantastic news for the company and its shareholders. I know 4% may seem small, but I'll explain what's going on and why it's actually a good number. And that beat expectations. Margins corrected. This is due to actually an inventory correction. You see, after the chip shortage, there was a glut of inventory. That took several quarters to wind down. So if you look at AMD's last several quarters of reports, they were all actually pretty bad. So the last few quarters were just weak for AMD. So it looks like we're past that now, and margins are starting to become fixed back to their normal numbers. Last year was also affected by the Xilinx acquisition. Non-GAAP net income is $1.3 billion due to stronger client revenue, offset by increased R&D in AI. AMD's earnings per share for the quarter came at 70%, surpassing market expectations of 68 cents. This shows the company's ability to generate value for its shareholders. Let's skip GAAP numbers due to the acquisition costs last year. They're just not that relevant. So non-GAAP, revenue up 4%, EPS up 4% as well. Quarter-over-quarter numbers, however, were even better, with earnings per share up 21%. Revenues are actually growing again after some stagnation due to the inventory wind down, as I mentioned earlier, as are GAAP margins. Data center revenue was flat since most cloud spending now is shifting to AI. AI is the hot buzz and the killer product right now. The MI300 is releasing in the fourth quarter, which is, this quarter. So we're going to start to see results from that soon. Intel's data center revenue was actually down 10%, so AMD gained market share in data center. The focus here, though, is clients, up a nice 42%. Focusing a little bit more on clients. Ryzen mobile processor sales exploded. 42% here is a great number. Intel, in comparison, their client revenue sales declined 3%. So this is actually a massive gain in market share. Outlook came in a little light. AMD usually guides conservatively, so I'm not concerned. But this is actually why the stock is lower after hours. AMD always guides low, and then beats usually. So, yeah, it is what it is. The numbers that stand out here to me is R&D. R&D spend is increasing drastically. This should continue as the company transitions to AI further and increases their product portfolio. Increasing R&D spend is a sign of a healthy, growing company. It's not a bad thing in this case. $5.8 billion in cash and short-term investments, that's great. $2.4 billion in debt. More cash than debt is always a good thing. The company is on a strong footing. So even if there was a recession, the company will have the finances to get through it really well. Compared to Intel, Intel has $25 billion in cash and short-term investments and $46.5 billion in debt. So, yeah, Intel is kind of the inverse. They have a ton of debt. And let's not forget the innovative products that have been driving AMD's success. In this quarter, they sent out samples of the MI300, an AI chip focusing on inference, competing for space with the H100 from NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is also broadening their AI portfolio. The product I'm personally focusing on for AMD is the MI300. It is the most important product launch for AMD since Ryzen. And for me, the MI300 will be the growth driver for quarter 4 as well as through 2024. So this is the single most important product that AMD has in their portfolio. The H100 focuses more on training, but with the limited options out there, the short supply of the H100 should lead to sales for AMD's MI300. This product is expected to contribute significantly to AMD's future earnings. Now, from the earnings report, it says that AMD's Instinct MI300A and MI300X GPUs are on track for volume production in the fourth quarter to support deployments with several leading HPC, cloud, and AI customers. In fact, AMD scored 2 wins just a week ago. Oracle Cloud is adopting MI300 to complement the H100, and IBM is utilizing FPGAs. Try to say that 4 times fast. For AI. FPGAs are customizable chips, and AMD got these FPGAs from the Xilinx acquisition. There will be more cloud wins in the very near future as all cloud providers are sampling the MI300. So basically they're testing it and figuring out where to put it in their networks and what instances to offer their customers. This is kind of it's a staged approach that these cloud providers have, and they do this for every product. It's like a multi-stage approach, and overall it takes several quarters to actually have a product reach a customer's hands through the cloud. And also this is coming to market as the H100, NVIDIA's chip, is seeing supply concerns and extremely high prices. An H100 is $40,000 just recently, just a few months ago, $40,000. So the MI300 should be able to command a pretty significant price as well. Continuing on, Oracle's cloud infrastructure is grappling with NVIDIA GPU shortages affecting its short-term growth. They are deploying the MI300X as an alternative solution. The company is setting its sights on AMD's Instinct MI300X offerings, which promise to offer formidable performance levels. The cloud giant is expected to be among the first to deploy these processors in early 2024. Remember that gap I mentioned? So this is early 2024, which is still several months out actually. Regarding the FPGAs for IBM, Foxconn is expected to start production of AI servers employing this technology in the fourth quarter of 2023. Hey, this quarter. So, AMD is also going to be producing ARM processors. So, what is ARM, you ask? Let's take a look. This is run on ARM. And your cell phone is on ARM as well. You have a tablet? That's on ARM. Do you have an Apple computer? Well, guess what? That's ARM as well, utilizing Apple's actually magnificent M1 chip. Basically, what makes ARM different is it is a system on a chip. ARM processors do not have a separate CPU. Instead, the processing unit is on the same physical substrate as other hardware controllers. This is an integrated circuit. The emphasis on ARM has been on overall resource management, including low energy consumption and lower heat production. x86 CPUs tend to favor higher end processing speed over lower power consumption. Do I see the ARM race as a positive or negative for AMD? I see it as a definite negative for Intel. There have been no leaks whatsoever of Intel making an ARM chip. However, NVIDIA entering the CPU space is also a negative for AMD. However, with both NVIDIA and AMD making ARM chips, it's hard to see exactly where the dust will settle in this. But overall, I still see this as a slight negative for AMD on the whole. But still, it's a wait and see for me. As noted, my largest focus right now is on the MI300 and future chips from AMD to drive growth. These ARM chips won't see release until 2025. And there you have it, the AMD Q3 2023 earnings report. If you're an AMD enthusiast or investor, this is undoubtedly a great time to be following the company. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, keep exploring the world of technology. Stay tuned for more updates on AMD and other tech giants right here on Finance Ninja.